such a sweet thing. Life on the big screen, it's such a beautiful scene, yeah.
Jacob.
Man, we have a producer today.
We do. We got our own Jamie. We got Athy back there.
Jamie's from who? Rogan?
Rogan, yeah.
Nice.
So if you hear say Athy, that's Nate Athy.
Yeah,
boy.
I just started listening to Theo Von's Timothy Chalamet interview this morning.
Oh, I haven't listened to that
It's
one.
really good.
Have you ever listened to just Theo Von's?
Yeah.
It's just the most random thing you've
That
ever heard in
guy's
your life.
so weird.
This podcast, he
Yeah,
just
no,
goes.
Timothy is just talking about his new movie coming out. It was just a really interesting conversation so far.
Hmm.
But yeah, all producers, they all point to cameras and
Yeah.
at the TV screens.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, one day. It's a start. Full disclosure, we're re-recording this episode.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say anything. Yeah, guys, we deleted an episode that was supposed to go live today, but we deleted it.
We made it a whole year without ever deleting any episode.
We were
without-
unhinged. A little
wasn't-
giggly.
Well, it wasn't
Well-
so much unhinged. It was just useless.
I was unhinged.
It was just useless. We
It was
talked about
cancelable.
we talked about Aunt Jemima
Wow.
for 40 minutes.
A lot of passion.
A lot of
towards
stuff,
Aunt
apparently.
Jemima.
A lot of stuff.
We should rehash that.
We will. Just not 40 or 50 minutes
yeah.
long.
It was just a stupid episode, and Nate said some crazy things that
Yeah, that was the one episode where I was just crazy unhinged and you could have just canceled me. It was just like flipped roles.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. So yeah, today's a new episode. We're excited.
I'm glad we're doing it though because there's some hot
Same.
news off the press.
Yeah, the wedding world almost burned over this weekend.
Sounds like you got a chip on your shoulder, Jacob.
A little bit. No, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually have a conversation out loud
Yeah.
with you about this and not just at the
Right.
internet.
Yeah.
I like, so I've had a lot of conversations at people this last week. We're talking about Honeybook, you guys.
Yeah. Read between the lines, I
It's
guess.
client relationship management software raised its prices. Oh, at the same time, so did YouTube TV.
I saw that.
Canceled it.
Do you have you? well,
I
you
canceled
can't-
it so quick.
You have an interesting relationship with YouTube TV because you had it
Canceled
and then
it.
you canceled it and then you re-got it, didn't
yeah.
you?
Yeah. I re-got it because I could not
I
stand the
remember
ads.
like the 2 weeks of dark times in Jake Weisler's life.
But
Where
I
he's like,
swear
the
when I
ads are-
re-got it, I was like, it's not that much money.
How much is it?
It is $90 a month.
$90
I could
a
have
month?
sworn it was $100 a year. I gun to my head if we can say that.
What's the perk of YouTube TV? No,
No
ads.
ads.
You can download videos, can't you?
I don't know.
You don't even use
just
that?
don't want the ads. In fact, when I'm on our YouTube channel and I click on a video and it plays ads, I want to die. So I usually copy paste the link into my personal YouTube channel and I'll watch it there.
Speaking of which, guys, click the ads.
Yeah, it makes
We're
sense.
begging
Yeah.
you,
But
please.
yeah, which is funny because you might think, oh, it's a little hypocritical canceling YouTube TV, which went up by like $12, but you won't cancel Honeybook, which like doubled their prices.
Like $200 or something.
But again, we'll dive into it, you guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of things raised their prices this last month. Actually,
they did.
did you see that tweet about Here, I'll find it.
Please.
Sorry, Thread.
Dude, I stay off Threads as much as possible. I just wake up and if the first thing I see is something from Threads, I'm just instantly in a bad mood.
Because
the
you
rest of the day.
want to argue, don't you?
You do. It's just it's a platform just like X. Any platform that's built on discussion automatically reverts to
Controversy.
controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy posted an X post on Threads, reposted on Threads.
Classic.
I'm so glad I made the right financial decision in 2018 and ditched my $90 a month cable package so I can now pay $83 a month for YouTube TV, $23 a month for Netflix, $16 a month for Disney, plus $13 a month for Paramount, and $15 a month for Prime, and $10 a month for Apple TV, and $20 a month for HBO.
Crazy.
And I saw that and I said, you know what? He's right. Luckily, I had the Disney Plus Hulu package, so it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Principles there though.
But yeah, I canceled YouTube TV. I was like, you know what? That's just one thing I don't need to spend money on.
What's that funny meme where it's just like, I have an idea. Someday we're gonna combine all these things and call
Back to
it
square one.
cable.
Yeah, and then some guys saying we're going to start putting podcasts on the radio. It's like, so the radio.
So AM radio.
No, yeah. Anyway, we can stay focused on Honeybook. But yeah, that really took the wedding vendor world by storm this last week.
Do you think people just needed something to talk about?
Always.
And that
Always.
was the scapegoat?
Always. Well, here's why I have a chip on my shoulder, Nathan.
Please.
Here's what
Take it out on
really
me.
bothered me. And I know it's the day and age where the first to report it, you get the first initial reaction, and then the conversation always evolves.
Yeah.
And so what bothered me is that the first few days, it was all about the price. It was all about the money. And I feel like everyone kind of fought back, me included, saying, like, let's talk about the money. Maybe you're pricing yourself incorrectly. Like, you're not really handling your cost of business. Like, it's just, I think Jason had a great comment about the cost of doing business. Like, you're not really analyzing your cost of doing business correctly if this is stressing you out. So then it became, it moved with the money argument. So everyone stopped talking about the money because I think that argument was disproved quickly. Like, well, you know, clients should be paying for it. You should be adjusting. Like, it's just like whatever. Then it became a moral argument for a second with a lot of people. And I totally get it. It was this whole thing about like, how could they do this to us? Like, people like use them, and like, why are they so greedy? Like, it was a weird moral thing. Which really bothered me because I'm like, it's a tech company. I didn't understand the moral argument.
Yeah.
And then he evolved because I think people didn't really catch. And so I feel like within a week, the third thing finally got to what I think we should be discussing. But of course, by the time we got there, by the time this episode even comes out, it's already outdated.
Yeah.
Like, we've already moved on.
I think it's already settled down pretty much today.
Which is such a shame because my point was by the time it got to the third evolution of the reaction, we finally got to the point, which was, is it valuable for you? Like, is the money you spend, do you get your value out of that?
Yeah.
And that's the conversation I wanted to have at the beginning. But we had to focus on the money for a second, then the moral thing, and then finally got to like, do you find value in the software? And if the answer was no, move. If the answer is yes, yes. Before you say no, are you using it to its fullest capabilities? And then some people were like, I actually don't need it, all the features they offer. I'm like, then why are you paying for it? Which is cool because I think one comment on my Instagram post said like, all I want it for, one guy said, all I want Honeybook for is like pricing brochures and inquiry forms. They should have like a $10 a month package. And I was like, that's a good idea. Like a starter for a tech company, have like a starter, like a lead gen entry level product. Well, that's kind of a cool idea. So I love that discussion. But yeah, it was just a very interesting week.
Well, for those who are maybe like catching this tailwind that maybe weren't in the thick of it, like you said, it feels like it's already settled. It's Monday, dust is settled, new week.
We've all moved on.
Coming up on the end of the year, Christmas, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
But for those who maybe are catching the tailwind, let's maybe talk about each one of those. So you mentioned money, morals, and the value. Okay. So let's talk about briefly why Honeybook raising its price is not that big of a deal when it comes down to just the money.
Yeah, we have a whole video about this, you guys, on our other YouTube channel. But in my opinion, the cost of doing business, especially on an annual viewpoint, it's just so superfluous when you really look at like the scope of it all and think, okay, like you should really be analyzing your pricing structure, how much you charge for a wedding should be based on your cost of doing business. And I think this was a good wake-up call for a lot of people who realize that I'm charging for wedding videos based on what people are telling me to charge. And I have actually no idea where that money should be going. Like, I don't know if I should be paying myself, my business, my expenses.
They just know that you're sending out a pricing brochure, you get paid $5,000 and that's it. It's like, great.
Like, okay, I use my business account to pay for my, my Wi-Fi and this, but should I bake that in my packages? It's like, no. Like, I think I think fine people kind of woke up and said like, wow,
where's my money going?
Yeah, I'm charging $5,000. Why? And it's like, because you think you should be for some reason.
Someone told you to.
Like, do the math. Like, figure out why you're worth $5,000 or if you're not worth $5,000. And so for me, the price increase, whether you were on the tier 2, and then I'm gonna go off.
no, please do.
If you were on like the plan with that only increased by $200, or which is still 50% increase, or if you're on the plan that increased by like $800, it's the same principle. Like, okay, analyze. For us, Honeybook going up $400. Raise our package prices $20 because we know how much weddings we're filming, what our goal is per wedding, and what those weddings cover. And so we knew that each wedding only received the $20 increase. And for us, it's just like not worth raising our package is $20. It's just like part of the cost of doing business. We take $10 less each of profit. Anyway, so then people start arguing, oh, well, I'm actually on the tier 3 plan because I have 2 businesses. So I actually have to pay $400 more, not $200. I'm like, listen to yourself.
You're looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm like, listen to yourself. No. Both your businesses are going by $200.
Right.
You're not all of a sudden paying $400 more. Your businesses each are $200 each. So the same principle applies. And if one business isn't using Honeybook or bringing the money, then like fail business. Anyway.
Okay, really quick, we're going to get back to the episode here in just a second, but we need to talk about music bed. And that's because as a filmmaker, one of the hardest parts about this job is finding music that fits the vibe you're looking for. We've been down the rabbit hole. We've done hours of searching only to land on tracks that are just fine at best, but they're not perfect. And that's why 5 years ago we switched to MusicBed and we never looked back. The moment we started using MusicBed, we realized that they're not just another generic licensing platform. They've redefined what music should be for filmmakers because the tracks are authentic, they're emotional, and they're made by real artists. You can really feel the difference. They've set this insane standard for quality too because they're very picky about the amount of artists that they accept. So it's not like you're just sifting through fluff. Everything is highly curated. And their new AI-powered search tool is nothing short of amazing. I can find the perfect track in minutes instead of hours. So if you're ready to elevate your work and win over more clients, head to the link in the description where you can claim your 14-day free trial of MusicBed. And trust us when we say this is an absolute game changer. Now we're going to head back to the show. We have our Honeybook account. I also have my other Honeybook account that I keep. I hardly ever use it. Yeah. And I think I have the essentials. I think it was like 400 something a year and it's going up to like 508.
Yep.
It was like $390 a year plus like taxes. And then after that, this increase, it's like 508. Mm-hmm. And even if I were to be full-time in that, like Runway Vows wasn't a thing, I feel like I just need that package. I don't feel like people are like, I have this premium top whatever plan and it's going up to $1,400. I don't feel like a lot of people need that plan.
And if you do, you should be making the money where it doesn't. Yeah.
It should justify. I don't know. I feel like 99% of the people, and most people that are probably listening to this, you don't need the top tier plan. I don't know all the perks, but I never had an issue ever with just the essentials.
Because we took my Jake Weisler Films Honeybook and just turned it into the Runway Vows Honeybook. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 brands attached to it, 2 companies. And I'm guessing by the end of next year, I won't even need it for Jake Weisler Films anymore because it hasn't been very active at all. And so we could probably downgrade to the middle plan anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about it. But I think my current viewpoint is you should be getting value out of any software you use, whether it's Notion, Honeybook, Inly, 17 Hats, whatever you're using, YouTube TV, Vimeo, I think is also a good discussion. Like you should be getting the value out of what you're paying for because money has value. And if you're not, there's like just either figure out how to get the value.
Yeah.
Like for me, like with Honeybook, it's like, okay, if I don't feel like I'm earning it, I'm gonna start automating things more because Honeybook has so many features that no one uses.
Right.
And I started talking to people in my DMs, like who are thinking about switching. I was like, okay, like what do you feel like you're utilizing all these features? And I started listing out things like automations, replies, AI, like calendars, tracking, the lead forms, the templates, emails. I started listing things and like, no, I don't really use like most of that. And I was like, why? Mm-hmm. Make your life so much easier.
Yeah.
You could start like automating so much of your business and like be more effective.
Spend an hour to save you
good,
hundreds of hours. Yeah.
So I just think that was also one of my frustrations. I feel like a lot of people who were frustrated with Honeybook weren't really using it in the first place for what it is.
Exactly.
I think they were still, our friend Sam's one of these guys who are still using the legacy templates from like 2018, who never really upgraded to the smart features. And so for them, they're using Honeybook solely to be an inquiry management place. To send invoices. I'm like, well, if that's all you're using, then I don't think Honeybook's for you.
Well, yeah, and then Honeybook's going to raise their price, and then if you're not already using them, you're just going to be freaking out, being like, well, how could they? I don't need all this. Well, if you were to have used everything that they're offering at your pricing package or whatever, you are seriously underpaying for what they're giving you. When you were paying $400 a year, and if you were using all of it, it's like that is well worth its money. Yeah, and so. It's just
it's like a bride paying us $10,000 to film our wedding, and that comes with a 6-minute film, 2 shooters, a 60-second trailer and a ceremony edit. And then she says, all I want is this 60-second trailer. And you're just leaving so much on the table.
Right.
Things are already coming with what you're paying for, but you're just not using it. And so for me, I don't look at Honeybook as like an inquiry CRM. I really look at it as an assistant.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's been our personal assistant for 5 years. Especially this last year, just like automating things, handling all of our inquiries, contracts, invoices, not just for our brides, but for like our educational platforms, our workshop tickets,
super easy.
our coaching program, our sponsorships, just like it's just so easy to just keep track of everything. We haven't used it for planners. We're very open about that. We don't use it for planners, except for one planner who loves Honeybook. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see people leave in the sense of
I'm excited for people just
like
leave.
I hope they go explore other things. Like I was looking into Inley, Dubsado, 17 Hats, and they're all, before everyone tries to bite me here, they're all, in my opinion, trying to become Honeybook.
That's what I was about to say.
And their 5 or 10 year plan, that's their goal. And I promise you, mark my words, clip this and save it. In 5 years, they're going to raise their price to compete, to offer the same features that the community is going to say, we want this, 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 and this. Because 5 years ago, Honeybook was saying, we want this, 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 and this, and this. And so the developers went and they did those things, didn't raise their prices until they had those things,
and now
and
everyone's
perfected
losing
those
their
things.
minds.
Yeah, got past the beta stages, beta.
The bet, yeah.
And so finally they're there, and they have to raise their prices to compete with, marketing and scaling, which is just
That's
how tech companies work.
That's what it feels like to me. I feel like everyone's downgrading, like because there are plenty of other ones out there. 17 Hats, Dubsado, Inley is the new one. They all look great, honestly. Like, we might explore them at some point as well, just to test them out. We like being on top of things, but they just seem like a downgrade. If you were just wipe out your Honeybook and you have just maxed that thing out and you've used it to its best potential, now it's like, oh, I'm going to an MVP product. I'm going to a product that just started last year. They're releasing the minimum viable product. That's what it's called in the tech world, the MVP. And then from there, they build and they make iterations like, hey, people aren't having these smart files. Maybe we should work on that with the dev team. Here's the beta. That didn't work. Let's adjust. Like, it's all, like you said, going to work back up to Honeybook. And when they do, guess what's going to happen to the prices?
Raise your prices.
They're going to go up.
Then you're all going to be pissed off again.
Unless you're buying into, like, maybe they're doing an ambassador, like a legacy program, which a lot of people do, which Honeybook did. But the losing your minds over the pricing is not that. It's uncalled for. I feel like at this point, it's not.
Yeah. And I refute the argument that money is a spectrum for. I know we all value money differently. People have more of it, less of it. But again, it's just like, well, you shouldn't be paying for it.
No, you shouldn't be.
Your cost of doing businesses clearly have not been analyzed. So that's my problem. I think, and maybe if you feel like you need a dumber version of Honeybook with less features that you don't use, then absolutely. Going back to my point, if you're not finding value in it, change. And so if all you need are like 2 or 3 features, but Honeybook has 100, and you don't want to pay for 97 of those, then yeah, save some money. Go switch and find something that you feel like adds value. But please don't get upset in 5 years when they have to double their prices because the community, the vast majority of the community, is asking for more.
Yeah. I think I wanted to comment a lot. I've been thinking a lot just about not getting provoked so easily lately online specifically, just because everyone's trying to get rage bait. Everyone's trying to throw out the most controversial take. And sometimes it's just blatant when you know someone is making something and to get just rage in the comments. But the one thing that really, really, really bothered me, this really bothered me, was the appeal to morality.
Yeah.
That killed me.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the main appeal was like, I can't believe they're doing this. Everyone views it as, this capitalistic monster who's just, greedy pigs at the top. Every Monday, just these fat white dudes in a meeting. How are we going to screw everyone over? That's what they view Honeybook as. But the line that kept coming up was they're just taking advantage and they're screwing over small businesses like us. We're small business owners. And the problem I have with that is that the second you start a business, You are going to spend just as much time building a big business as you do a small business. I would even argue you might spend less time building a big business as opposed to a small business because you're going to hire managers, you're going to hire a team. You need to hire a system if you want to make the next Facebook or Adobe or Honeybook or tech or whatever it is. You can't just be a solopreneur doing that. A small business owner, you're doing marketing, you're doing research, you're doing development, you're doing contracts, you're filming, you're doing everything. That's on you. You are a small business owner. You made that choice. You realize you're going to be spending all that time and you want to get mad at someone because they are running their business how they need to be. Like, don't feel sorry for yourself because they're attacking you as a small business owner because you made that choice. That was my problem. It's your fault you're a small business owner.
Yeah, I couldn't stand
your fault.
the moral argument.
Oh, got me going.
I just think we're all a bunch of artists, who,
Yeah. Couldn't stand the appeal to morality there.
Nope, me neither.
It's not their
Because we're
fault.
also talking about, like seriously, we're talking about Honeybook. 6 years, like when I joined, they were the smallest, like it was the definition of a community who wanted to really help the vendor world.
Right.
And they have.
Right.
And naturally they grew because of it. And so I think now everyone just kind of wants the next small guy.
Yeah. Which
Like
good for
them.
them. Like if it works,
Yeah,
great.
sure.
Have fun. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. But like talking about like seriously, for me it's like I'm paying, let's say one of the most expensive plan. I'm paying $1,400 a year to have a personal assistant.
Yeah.
That's pennies for a personal assistant.
Correct.
Someone who will send off all of our invoices, all of our proposals, handle all of our inquiries, follow up with all of our ghosts, like just automation follow up, handle our profit and loss for all of our Honeybook things. I don't have to spend hours designing templates. I can just go into the community templates and find a brand I like and say, yeah, I like that template, plug it in my assets. Like all that stuff. I'm just like, and so that was my third thing, like the value. For me, and I saw a comment saying they're probably banking on you not switching because
I saw that too, yeah.
you're thinking they think you're not going to switch because of how hard it will be. I'm like, and they're right. like I get the argument.
Call,
I'm like, yes, but I'm like, they're not doing it in like some crooked back black room saying, oh, they'll never switch because of how integrated. It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
It's really not that hard. Tops maybe take a day to transfer things over, but it's like, yeah, but I value my time so much. I built this system, and if you haven't built a system in a CRM and really ironed it out, then that's your problem.
Yeah.
And I've built a system in our CRM where it's like, yeah, to switch systems would be a nightmare for me because I'd be replacing a personal assistant.
Correct.
And that to me is also not the reason, but one of the reasons. Where I
Correct.
was like, this price point, yeah, it hurts maybe, but I started to analyze it, worth it.
Yeah.
Completely worth it. Yeah.
It's worth noting it's already been over 7 days. And if people are still posting about it, that's 7 days that you've been spending your time trying to find a new CRM when you could have just done nothing and saved that money.
No, I spent
hard?
2 full days making a YouTube video about this.
Yeah.
And I pushed off so many things I had to get done to make a YouTube video because it was a pressing topic. I felt a need to throw my voice in the mix, and that's even too much. You know what I mean?
But you created something that was going to live forever on the subject.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
true.
like that's the end all.
That's true.
In terms of our opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one that kind of got me going was the whole value thing. It's just like I just don't get the value out of it. And we already talked about this, but I just don't get the value out of it. They're pushing for like AI and all these new assistants, and like I just don't need that. The irony of that, the pure irony of that, is that everyone is sending these from their iPhones. Everyone's buying a new iPhone every year, $1,000 device, and you're sending text messages on it 99% of the time. You're not using your iPhone. It's a supercomputer in your pocket every single day to its most highest capacity.
No.
You're sending texts and memes to your friends. So I think that was also just like an argument that falls a little flat. Just because you don't want to use it doesn't mean it's not the most valuable one out there. It's the best.
Yeah. I think our community is also, we are all, everyone to an extent is a sheep. I myself
we all
can
are.
be shepherded quickly on certain topics. But I think especially like, take for example, like when YouTubers release the new camera, everyone who is so content with their setup 30 minutes ago all of a sudden feels that I should be changing cameras because this guy told me to.
Yeah. No, that happens
You
all
were
the time.
doing great. You loved your work. You loved your visuals. And then all of a sudden you think I'm not good enough. And so going back to the moral argument, I think a lot of people who were so happy with Honeybook and willing to stomach the costs saw all this controversy and all of a sudden thought I should be switching too. And that bothered me. People switching because everyone else was, not because they knew why they were doing it.
Right.
And that's not on the person who's causing, or the people who are causing the post discussions. That's on the people who are just switching blindly.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to really analyze and know, like, why are you switching? What value can I get from it? Do you find value in how much money you're saving a year? Because maybe that's seriously your bottom line.
Maybe.
Is that your goal is to be frugal and to not overspend at all. And I'm like, okay, respect that. If that's truly your reasoning, I respect that. But if it's like some weird arbitrary, I don't know why everyone else is doing it, I'm not really utilizing it,
I guess I'm
maybe
gonna switch.
it's like, okay, like, no, like, figure out why you're charging what you're charging, where that money's going, and then utilize the tools you have.
Yeah. I think it's also a different argument if you're part-time versus full-time. Like maybe you have a full day job.
Oh, absolutely.
And you just like, yeah, I don't need it. $400, 500, whatever it is a year. I just don't need that. I'm going to cut it. Like, great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would go so far as to say you could pretty much do anything you need to with Canva and Notion.
Yeah.
If you went hard with both of those, you could create your own little CRM.
Yeah, you
You could run your business fully out of
tell
that.
us in the video. You could make a free CRM on Google.
You
Truly.
100% good.
You have to do a lot more because you're removing costs, but like, you really could. You could use everything in Google plus more to really run an effective CRM for free. Or probably my first option would be to use Canva and Notion.
I feel like you
Notion
could do
forms,
everything you need
inquiry management, budgets, spreadsheets, all of that. All you really need for Canva is like good templates for like, your pricing brochures and
because we've barely
proposals.
even scratched the surface with Notion too. But like you can do crazy stuff in their automations. You can send out.
I'm pretty sure
like,
the guys we're right to this podcast room from use Notion for everything. Their inquiry
you're correct,
forms, their databases, their budgets,
everything's Notion.
their payroll, like where's money going, like everything. It's crazy.
Yeah. Or you could do this. Hear me out. This might be crazy, Jake. You hire someone.
Yeah.
And you pay them thousands a year.
To use Honeybook.
Or you cut out the middleman and you just use Honeybook.
Yeah. No, it's actually crazy. Yeah. So it was an interesting discussion. But even like, today I woke up, checked my feed. We've all moved on.
Crazy how that works. Everyone's needed to blow off some steam.
People who wanted to switch, I think I saw a phrase, this was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Like, if you're already unhappy with it,
That's
go somewhere else. Like, it's like, great. I'm glad this was kind of your wake-up call. I don't really know why it was, but I'm glad it was. But I think everyone's kind of like switching, spending the next 2 months during what was supposed to be their downtime to work on their business. And now they're just having to revamp their whole business to get back to square one so that by busy season, they're back to where they were. And I'm probably taking this way too lightly, maybe even borderline ignorantly. But
we usually are. Yeah. I would say,
and I'm not being paid by Honeybook to say that
yet.
Maybe if I speak loud enough, they'll be like, you know what, these guys are really going to bat for us. But like, I want you guys to know that like, this is my unbiased opinion on not Honeybook as a company, as you mainly valuing your time and resources.
Yeah. I think everything we've said, let's just say we're talking only to full-time video people, video creatives. If you're part-time, do what you need to. But if you're full-time, this is your business and you are making these as business decisions, I stand by everything that we've said.
Yeah.
Build it into your cost of doing business.
Yeah. And maybe some of my personal beliefs trickled in there. So, but that's what we have to learn, you guys, is to not take everything with just a, face value. I'm allowed to have an opinion. Nate's allowed to have an opinion. You guys can have your opinion.
I do have to say, if there ever comes a point where I'm just like out of the creative industry, or let's say, I could picture you, Jake, in 40 years.
40.
Maybe 30. Maybe if you're ambitious, 20.
70.
Maybe if you're ambitious, 20.
Okay.
Living out your dream as a Megaplex manager.
Maybe.
I can see you reaching that dream, Jake. You're out of the creative industry. For
It'll be
me,
fun. Have
if
the
I-
kids work there, slinging popcorn for
slinging
free.
the popcorn. For me, if I'm ever out of the creative industry, I'm going to look back, and this is one of those moments where I'm going to tell people I could not stand the creative wedding videographer industry.
No.
It is so, I hate the word toxic, but that's exactly what it is. Just like looking to fight over anything that's not that big of a deal.
We're all so bored, man.
So bored.
We all want to fight.
Yeah.
We're all just artists who want to
And
fight.
it is true.
I think you commented that one time, or this week, you said like it reminds me of the content creator conversations.
It's the content. Like, remember when everyone was just fighting about content creators?
Gosh.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, what
What?
were we arguing about?
We were arguing if they were going to take over videographers and if they were necessary, but everyone couldn't get
Are you
past
that
the
insecure?
fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it all comes down to is insecurity.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, I think if I were to ever get out of the creative industry, this would be one of those moments like, man, if I were to tell you that hundreds of thousands of people, maybe not that many, I don't know, lost their minds and tried to cancel a company for raising its price
Wow.
for the first time in a decade, the most valuable service they had, what would you say? They'd be like, oh, that's crazy.
Half the country didn't want to cancel the administration who raised our cost of living. It's fine.
And yet,
Won't get
these
into that.
creatives also have raised their prices. I think that was an argument that was also that was the
they
first.
tried to shut that down.
That was the
though.
first counter argument. Was like, well, you
But
guys
nobody
raise
wanted to
your
be honest.
prices.
Yeah, but everyone's like, it's different.
Don't compare a
It's
small
not the
business.
same.
Don't compare a small business to a tech business. It's like, well,
It's
why?
not the same. It's like it is the same. It's exactly
You got to raise
the
your
same.
prices. Yeah,
It's exactly the same.
it's just it's hypocritical.
And I would even argue that a tech company has more justification to raise their prices than a small business does.
Yeah.
Like yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, way more employees too.
Way more employees, and they're scaling, developing so much more.
But Jake, they had a $2.4 billion valuation in 2021. Does that make you
Doesn't mean they
feel
have
like they're
$2.4 billion in their bank account.
I know. That was just another thread I saw. I was like,
I did see that.
gosh.
Yeah, it bothered me too.
Yeah, no, I just can't wait for everyone who buys their next $8,000 camera to use its value to the
Yeah.
just use every little
I don't
thing
know. Jason and I went at it in a Facebook thread. We were just saying, like, remind me to never ask wedding vendors
ever.
advice on how to run a tech company.
Ever. No, never.
Well, it wasn't the thing. It's also not wedding videographers. It was about every vendor uses it. And I forget that.
yeah.
That Honeybook is
lot of
for
people do.
every vendor.
Right.
Like every possible wedding vendor out there
Yeah.
uses Honeybook.
Yeah.
So the next discussion piece is like, well, why don't you use it for planners? And maybe Honeybook will evolve. I'm sure they will to meet, demand. But I think the amount of videographers or vendors who are dealing with planners is still a much smaller margin than the vendors. And I'm just spitballing here, you guys. This is not backed up by any evidence. Based on how I read the market, I think the amount of people working with planners directly is still way smaller than people who are working with brides.
Correct. I think so too.
And I think it's a whole different level of market. I think the vast majority, the prosumer market, is mainly working with brides, and so Honeybook is still very valid and valuable. But for those who are working with planners, it's not that Honeybook makes it difficult. It's that your job should be to jump into the planner's system, not ask them to jump into yours. That's the principle. And so would I like to just send planners a project in Honeybook? Yeah. But I'm trying to be a pleasure to work with and to fit in with their team. So I'd rather just say, how do you want to handle it? And I'll just jump into their world. So because of that, we now pay for Maru, which is solely an invoicing site. And we send them contracts via Adobe DocuSign.
Yeah.
And they love it. They comment
They
on it.
can't get enough.
The last planner said, I love that you use Maru. That's what our team uses. And I was like, damn
just
right.
salivating. Just Maru.
So the principle is adapt. So it's like, oh, you're paying for Honeybook, Maru, and Canva, and Adobe DocuSign, which I think comes with our cloud. I was like, yeah,
But we're not paying for it.
not paying for it. Yeah.
That's the theme.
I actually don't know if we even pay for Honeybook.
Well, no, I
I
meant
think we do.
I meant the principle is like we're not paying for it, our clients are paying for it.
I think I wasn't paying for Honeybook, but then I think when I asked for the 2-tier system, because I had the affiliate legacy thing
Yeah.
from Jake Weiser Films, but I think when I asked to add a second company, I think that went away. Couldn't be wrong.
maybe.
Either way, my thought still stands.
Yeah, but either way, what I was saying is we're not paying for it.
Right.
Clients are paying for
Right.
it. It's built in. So unless
And
it's
they might
like
not be paying for it at all if it's
and
no, but yeah, it's built in. No, we have a pricing calculator. We'll link it below. I went over this in our last video, but yeah, we analyze not any business expense, but any subscription that allows us to do our job. MusicBed, VidFlow, Honeybook is one of those. Dropbox, Google, like the things that we need to do our job. Those are all included in our cost of doing business. Yeah, and analysis.
Well, I think we've beat it to death.
Oh, I beat it.
I
I'm
think
so over this
I think it's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
We're gonna do a different version of the pass today. Still kind of a pass, but it's gonna be kind of like a.
Also,
Please.
if you hear the piano, sorry, we are below a piano recital. Secondly, Athy, do you hear this fan blowing directly into my mic or no? Great. That's fine.
Nothing. Okay, that's fine.
Because it feels amazing. So I want to leave
Mine's
it
not on. So we're gonna do something a little different with the pass. If you've made it this far, I don't feel like saying sorry today. I feel like it's been very valuable.
I got it all off my chest, and I'm never ever going to talk about Honeybook again until they pay me.
Yeah, until next month. Okay.
Can I just say though? Sorry.
Yeah, please do.
To cut you off
No,
for the
go
third
on, go
time
on. Yeah, go
before
on.
the pass. Business aside, logistics, like value, whatever. I love Honeybook.
I do too. I really do.
Genuinely, it has been. I seriously mean it. Next to my ChatGPT, Leo, Honeybook has become a personal assistant to me,
It has.
and I would be crippled without it for until I could figure out what to do. Like I seriously, it would be when the site's down, I feel crippled.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Great.
had to get off my chest.
So we're gonna do the pass.
Great.
Okay.
Should I come off a fourth time just for fun? Sorry, go on.
So this is it's gonna be like a little like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like quick take, almost
Okay.
like agree, disagree.
Rapid
sort of
fire.
Rapid fire. That's what I was looking for. So this is coming from our Facebook group.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago, it was on December 2nd. One of our good friends, Glennis Rogers,
I love
he
Glennis.
posted in our Facebook group. We'll link that below for those who want to join. It says, as the year ends, what are some wedding trends you would remove from wedding films? Okay. So there's a lot of answers on here. I'm just going to go
Did
through.
Justin Porter comment?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh. Because I saw him post a thread this week about a trend he wants to see dead, but
No, this is before that.
I was wondering.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through. I'm going to read just like some of the answer. Like for example, Adam Grumbo says like
I
the
didn't even
cake.
see this thread.
So Adam says like the cake. So I'm going to say cake. Is it necessary? Say yes or no. If you really feel passionate about it, you can explain it. Okay. Okay. So as the year ends, what are some wedding trends you would remove from the wedding films? Cake, shots of the cake.
Yes, I would. So is it yes to remove?
Yes, you
or
would remove.
Yes.
Okay. Garter and bouquet
Yes.
toss.
Yes.
Everything.
Let me just cut to the quick here.
and then you said remove photographers in jumpsuits.
Who said that?
Adam Grumbo.
That is so petty.
Oh, remove
That
the
is so
photographers
petty.
in
the clogs.
jumpsuits. Man,
That is so
that's
petty.
good. Remove photographers.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's right.
Sure.
Yeah, get rid of them.
I mean, I'll also say so that we're not discriminating here.
Videographers in vans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get rid of them.
And this might be really rude. Polos with your company logo on the back.
Ooh, I like it.
I don't know.
I like that. I
Everyone
like that
has the
take.
Shutter Speed logo. I don't know.
Jake, on that
a little
note, for
corporate for me.
Christmas, I did order some polos for Runaway Vows.
With the Shutter Speed. Please.
Just right here.
Please. Runaway Vows. The O is a shutter. A shutter. Anyway.
No, yeah, I agree with that take. I do agree. Yeah,
Sorry.
get
I'm
rid
sorry.
of the polos.
I'm sorry.
I think just stick to
Dress better.
stick to white or black. Just nice,
Keep
nice
those for your
shirt.
corporate events.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. Okay, flat lays, remove them.
No.
I agree. Keep them.
Keep them.
Emma would say no,
She would.
or she would say yes. To
I've
remove
really
them.
had a 180 this last few months about flat lays. I think they're beautiful.
They have a time and place.
They do.
Really, only using them for like 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah. It's really.
Or design
It's
reel.
really if you're into the editorial
Yeah.
thing.
They're very valuable for like design reels and things like that.
Yeah. And I think, sorry, rapid fire or discussion?
Do you want to discuss?
I want
this?
to say my new, because I this probably contradicts Jake from 6 months ago. It was at the I forget what style shoot we were doing. Oh, it was on the cruise, Wild and Rome cruise.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't usually film this, but Emily and Dryden put a lot of money into these details, so I'm gonna film it. And then I said it out loud. I was like, "Dang, just like a bride."
Dang.
And so I was like, you know what? Like,
Maybe we should.
It's about the bride, and yeah, I have a lot of creative liberty on how I want to tell her story that day. But I'm like, you know what? If she has this gorgeous flat lay, it's clear that she wants to have that editorial vibe, and I'm gonna get the shots.
There's a reason she chose those shoes. There's a reason she chose that perfume and the earrings.
And do you like Father of the Bride?
Did I watch it?
Do you like those movies?
Oh yeah, I do.
Steve Carell. No, Steve Martin.
Yeah, I like those.
Second movie, the opening scene is this macro shot of it's just artistic. And it's just the opening titles, credits, and it starts to zoom out, and it's a champagne glass.
And you're like, dang.
And it starts to pan, and it pans over ribbons, a shoe, kind of like party things that have the end of the party. And I was watching, I was like, you know what? The flat lay really has the opportunity to be kind of that opening. Like these details that really build the scene. And I was like, I love that. So I'm not gonna do the classic, just the classic flat lay shot. I want to start really getting creative with the flat lays and saying, how can I turn this into like an opening, like a detail editorial, set the mood of like the details of this day.
Did you ever buy that macro?
I did, yeah.
The 90?
Yeah, it's on my desk.
Really?
Yeah. Just arrived a few days ago.
Could we buy another one?
Sure. Yeah. We only need one.
We only need one.
Yeah, flat lays, yes.
Okay, flat lays.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Keep them. Okay. Someone said, honestly, most of the getting ready.
Who said that?
Michael Lemley.
Personally, no. Wait, yeah, I like
Keep it.
I like getting ready.
Keep it. Yeah.
I bet Michael shows up way too early.
Yeah, you don't need
bet he does.
hours. Yeah.
I bet he does.
You kind of just need like the last little bit.
Yeah.
But interacting with the guys, interacting with the
I love it.
her girls.
One of my favorite parts of the day.
And then Glennis, the author, he's echoing a point we've already talked about before. He said, I don't know why, but opening wedding videos with a drone shot just doesn't do it for me. Nothing wrong with it. Just seems like the obvious thing to do. Therefore, I don't want to do it.
Justin Porras did the same thing. And then he posted a few weeks ago a trailer, and it started with the drone shot. And I commented on it, and I said,
Beautiful
Justin.
drone shot.
And I forget his reply. It was sassy, but
Yeah.
we have a good banter.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a drone shot opening.
It all depends, you guys, on like the story. If it's like an opening drone shot, an acoustic, and like immediately jumping into like a line, like a cheesy line from the wedding, I get the generic.
Yeah, I get it too. I get it.
But like, no, it's Hollywood. Set the scene.
I always think
Christopher
of The
Nolan.
Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Opening
the
shot
first
was a
thing I
drone.
think of, man. Just the into the building, and you're just trying to guess which window they're about to shoot the thing out of.
Guys, if you go frame by frame, you'll see the helicopter appear in the window right before it cuts.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Dang.
The camera guy, you see it right before it cuts.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's the first thing I think about, just The Dark Knight. Anyway.
Inception. Opening, yeah. Anyway.
I watched that again
Every
recently.
Inception trailer. Drone shot.
Jason McCutcheon says, hobbyists.
What do you mean by that?
I think he means people who are doing it as a hobby instead of a full-time job.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, great. Get rid of them.
We all start somewhere, Jason. Come on.
Okay, let's see. Tennyson, cake, bouquet toss, less family portrait shots.
Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah.
Get rid of them.
Or let's just evolve it. Let's just figure out how to make it better.
I still think it's important to get them,
I know,
but
it's a weird. I have a weird relationship with it.
It is a weird relationship because there are those stories. It's like, hey, the bride reached out 5 years down the road. Her grandpa passed away. She wants video, not photo, of them just like talking. But then, film them throughout the day, how they interact. Film them.
Isn't that
laughing.
better?
I would think so.
I feel like the portrait's like a safety angle.
But the portraits, when I'm talking about strictly between, like, let's say a bride and a groom and like a beloved grandma or grandpa. Usually those moments are very sweet. They just like give them a hug and a kiss.
I love the after.
They give them a hug. Yeah, it's always after the shot.
Keep
itself.
it rolling.
Yeah.
And I'll kill a photographer who, after the photo, has to jump in
and like
get nose
adjust
to
things.
nose and say, "Okay, great, who's next?"
Drives
Ask
me
that
crazy.
from behind my camera.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. So those moments, like, always keep the camera rolling, but like the actual them like posing for the family photo, you don't need.
No.
So evolve them. I think that's a good way of saying it. We got to figure out how to fix those.
I think there are too many people who are unimportant getting important time
I agree.
in that hour.
I agree.
Let's just have this dope, like Vogue-esque editorial, people sitting, standing, looking dramatic, family portrait, throw in the grandparents, and then that's it. We don't need like third cousins. No one wants you there.
Okay, what about someone saying they're aiming for less staged and posed, and they're aiming for more candid?
Yeah, depends on the bride.
Depends.
Yeah.
If we have an editorial session, it's all going to be posed and staged.
Some brides really just want to be posed.
Yeah. Group photos,
But what?
group portrait sessions, they want to remove it. That's what the photographers are for. And then it looks like we found our next culprit for who is going to hang up the cleats. Bryce James, he says everything, get rid of it all. Sounds like he doesn't want to be there.
Funny you said that. I had this thought last night. I don't know why I thought of it. I was laying in bed and I had this thought. If you asked a bride who wasn't on social media, didn't know the trends, traditions, let's just say for somehow, some way, she didn't know anything about a wedding. She gets engaged and she's planning her wedding. And no one's telling her, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do a cake, you have to do a reception. And you just plan your wedding. What would you really keep?
Strip it down to the bare bones,
Right?
man. Yeah.
And I was like, if I was a bride and I had no idea what a wedding was traditionally, I would show up to the ceremony, have a gorgeous over-the-top ceremony, have a gorgeous exit from that ceremony, and that's probably it.
I feel like I would have like a getting ready. Like, hey, I'm going to be with my boys.
Well, yeah, like you're naturally gonna get ready.
Yeah. I'm going to be hanging out with my dudes. We're going to go golfing.
Like,
We're going
I'd
to
do
be...
this gorgeous exit, and then like I'd probably just want to go have like a candlelit dinner with my spouse somewhere.
Yeah. To your day.
I think everyone who's there was at the ceremony. That's enough. Oh, I know. I had the thought. I watched American Gangster with Denzel Washington, and there's a wedding scene, and they just exit and they're done. They go to their hotel after.
That's dope.
Then he goes and kills people
Classic.
on his wedding night. Crazy.
Denzel Washington fashion.
My man.
Well,
He would say, "My man," and then he'd either beat the crap out of you or give you a hug. But you never knew which one was coming, so you had to brace for the "my man" scenes.
my man.
Is he gonna love me or is he gonna kill me?
Last one. Someone, I don't get this response.
Let Daddy decipher it.
Okay. Keep in mind, this is coming from a wedding videographer answering the question what they want to cut out.
Okay.
Okay. So this person said, spending thousands of dollars for a 5-minute video is such a waste of money. All this is just for social media anyway. So they don't want to get paid?
Maybe they're alluding to the fact this industry is just overpaid. That we aren't really worth what we're charging. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
It's a stupid take from a videographer. It's your bread and butter, you're biting the hand of there. I just mixed like 3 phrases into one.
That's your bread and butter. You're biting a hand up for it.
I want to bite some bread and butter. Wow, mix up. Anyway, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, well,
Anything that's missing on that list for you?
yes and no. Because these are things that aren't in every wedding. But I just hate when they try to incorporate the latest trend into a wedding.
Yeah, you do hate that.
I just don't like it. Like, cut that out. Cut it out because when you watch it, it's not going to be relevant anymore. It's just like, oh, it's not timeless. It's just something weird that you did. That wasn't even you. If it's something that's relevant to you and your couple only, for example, in 2 weeks from now, we are going to film our last wedding of the year in New York, and we had a call with a couple, and they said for some reason, and we didn't understand the joke, but they did, and they said, we want you guys capturing someone on film going to the bar and saying, I want alcohol. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you and I were just like, great.
Okay.
We have no idea, but they were like laughing, they were cracking up. They thought it was so funny, and
the whole party would get it.
I know, because the whole party would get it, and we loved that for them. And we're gonna, we didn't understand, but we're gonna capture it regardless, and that is for them. That'll always be timeless for them. Yeah. But it's these trends of like,
well, that same conversation. Tell them what he said explicitly. He does not want us to do. Oh, the same couple.
Yeah, this same couple. Like, he just hates being like posed and directed because
the walking shot.
Yeah, Oh yeah, the walking shot. Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
had so much passion.
Very much so.
Do not ask
not.
us to walk towards the camera.
No,
That's
he
stupid.
hated
And
that.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
noted, bro.
Thanks for telling us. But yeah, like they have things that are special and timeless to them. What's not special and timeless to them is the latest trend on social media. That's I don't know.
Get a content creator for that.
Yeah,
Like,
if you
honestly.
want, sure. Yeah, great.
Instant videos.
Yeah.
Because trends last a week nowadays.
Correct.
Yeah. You know what I've learned? I think trends die the second corporate America gets it.
I think so too.
Like once the social media team for Costco starts doing the trends, I
Done.
think then everyone's like, not
It's
cool
over.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one wants to see that.
Well, is there anything that's missing from this list for you?
No, I want exits to be something else. I think exits aren't very common outside of Utah, like the sparkler exits.
No, correct.
I want there to be more emphasis on the exit, the recessional. No, yeah, the recessional.
Yeah.
I want there to be more confetti. Like some of my favorite exits.
Yeah.
Mason and Jeff, Chelsea and Chad.
Just great exits.
Just confetti.
Yeah.
You know, I want just flower petals, rice. I want there to be more of that during the ceremonies recessional, and then I'd find to cut out the grand exit completely.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, everybody, to those listening, I'd say that's probably our final take on the Honeybook situation. And hopefully it's dead by the time you hear this.
I will say, in our online course, we have a few modules about Honeybook.
We do.
Which I'm updating next month. And it will come with free templates for our pricing guide and other things. So,
And the recent YouTube video mentioned the pricing calculator.
oh yeah,
Because
new.
this whole idea of that it's expensive, it's not expensive, it's just building
Find
into
your worth,
price.
guys.
Yeah, find your worth. We created a pricing calculator that's going to help you run your business and seriously just get everything down to the dime so you are not underpricing yourself for any project you take on.
Yeah, it's meant to be like a guide. Like, wake up. Are you worth what you're charging?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to hit your goals? I'm shocked at how many videographers who bought it this last week. They DM me and I'm like, I'm shocked at how many people said like I needed this because they had no idea they should be setting a yearly goal.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I want to kind of hit maybe 10 or 12 weddings. I'm like, okay, and what do you want your profit to be? Man, I haven't really thought about that. I'm like, well, then why are you?
I think a lot of people are just stuck
where
with
does
the
10 or 12 weddings
100K.
come from?
Yeah, I think most people are just stuck like, I want to make 100K, 6 figures.
Make it.
Yeah.
How you
Set
gonna
a
do
number.
it?
Yeah, set a number. So we'll leave that linked in the show notes or in the description, and you can snag that. Next week, Jake, we have something really exciting. We're bringing in Landon, by the way.
For our Christmas episode.
Yeah, for our Christmas episode, we're bringing in Landon. Now, I did want to say we might release this the day after Christmas or the day before, because let's be honest, most people are waking up, they're spending time with their family. They're not going to be listening on Christmas. So we're probably going to release this next Thursday.
Christmas is a Wednesday.
On the 26th, the day after Christmas. And then New Year's also is on a Wednesday. So the 26th and the 2nd we're going to be releasing. So next week, when you wake up on Christmas, not that you're going to be thinking about the kitchen podcast, don't lose your minds when it's Wednesday and we haven't uploaded, because it's going to be Thursday for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But we
Can't
have
wait to
Landon, by
ask
the way.
Landon. Can't wait to ask Landon why he hates weddings.
But if you have any questions for Landon, shoot us a DM.
Yeah.
We'll post a little link that you can submit a question for, and we're just going to bring Landon on, just hang out with him for an hour and a half.
And I think it's also in the season, in the spirit of
Giving. You got me present.
I did not get you. Frick.
It's all right. I haven't got you one.
Rest in peace to our fallen soldier, the We Got You podcast. Moment of silence.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's funny.
I don't know. I just
wanted to say.
I didn't think you.
As for hot topics, one of the, I'd say one of the.
This is with respect, much respect. This was not.
It's only funny because Emma knows that we're funny. Okay, that's why. Emma would think this is funny. Yeah. In terms of trending things,
Our good friends.
As of the recording today, they released their last episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad for me, actually.
It was Emma and
Because the wedding podcast community is pretty small.
Yeah.
There's I'd really only us. I'm really sorry if I'm missing someone.
Yeah.
But people I listen to, us, How to Film Weddings, the We Got You podcast, Level Up.
Wedding film. The wedding film school.
Yeah, the Wedding Film School. I'm missing a crucial, and the Vendor Table.
Then
or
or
like
two.
the big ones.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry for missing some. So yeah, kind of sad, but it was really cool. I would love to have them back on actually
Yeah.
to talk about it because I think there's a really interesting discussion I would love to have. I don't know why it started off so funny. Probably
It was just taking a shit. It just sounded like you were taking a shot. Just like, rest in
catching
peace.
strays.
GG's.
No, but I think the conversation I would love to have with Emma and Hannah is, which they touched on a little bit in their podcast, but I want to dive into it, is like putting your time where it is valuable. And they did a really hard analysis of like their goals for next year, not just as like business owners, but as like women, like what they want to focus on in their personal lives.
Family, personal,
Yeah,
all
probably
that.
just as women, but as like people, as like human beings on their personal lives. And the podcast is one of those things that was limiting them from hitting other goals. And I thought it was a lot of fortitude for them to do that. So I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Sad to see them go.
I hope we get their sponsors and take their audience.
If you're coming here from the We Got You podcast, welcome
We
to the
love them.
worst podcast.
And you guys know that Hannah and Emma are two of our favorite people in the entire world. So
And you will not gain nearly as much information
Zero.
from this podcast as you did from theirs.
if you're coming from theirs, value to entertainment.
You might just want to start theirs over because
Yeah.
they have 209 episodes.
209 episodes.
You can spend pretty much all next year.
Man, I did get a little choked up at the end of their episode where they said their closing line
Yeah.
went from thank you for the We Got You podcast. I think Hannah was like, and just remember, we always got you. I was like, oh, that was good, Hannah. That was good. Emma started crying, so I cut.
Yeah.
But anyway, fallen soldier there.
Yeah. We'll have them on.
Yeah. Man, the We Got You comeback one day will be crazy. If there is one. No pressure.
No pressure.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.